Hello, everyone. Good day from my end, and welcome to One Global Movement Speak with Heart. I know that I'm really sorry that there is a mistake here on the flyer. I don't know what happened, but it says we are scheduled to start in 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
which is not true. It's not right. It means that there was a mistake done somewhere, either by us or maybe by the internet itself, because the internet sometimes will do the wrong thing, because we've looked around to see what could be done or what happened. We don't see anything to change, but for the managing director is here, and of course Sister Yvonne is here. A lot of people, I know that they are thrown off balance, that's why they will not be here. So there is a mistake, and we've checked from our end and we don't see anything that went wrong, so we don't know what is happening. So bear with us, but we're still going to go live at the same time. And those who are not here because of the error can then go back to YouTube and watch it. Please, we are sorry
Absolutely.
about that. And there are also some changes that are going to be made as soon as possible here, so that we can focus our show 2 days a week, but most of the time to record and just let it go live at the same time. But we'll discuss that, and then we'll put it out here for everyone to know what is going on. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, John. Thank you, Sister Yvonne, for being here with us today.
Thank you, Sister.
And as we get closer and closer to Christmas and the New Year, things are just being so rosy, even though it's cold here, but there's a lot of excitement with
Yeah.
families and children, excitement in the world, because this time of the year is a time of gratitude, more gratitude, a time of sharing, a time of thanksgiving, a time of packaging meals, going to a homeless shelter, trying to do something, and do something to help families that cannot put food on the table for their children. Sister Yvonne, the internet, I don't know what is happening. She went off. Hopefully, she's going to come. Okay, she's back. She's
Yeah.
back in. Okay. So, this is a good time of the year. I know that not everybody celebrates Christmas. They celebrate other things, which we have also been celebrating along the way with them. But celebrating in action is the most important thing that we are doing here. So, we are in the Mantle of Hope Revolution, part 269, engaging men and boys a more positive way in combating gender based violence. Engaging men and boys a more positive way in combating gender based violence. So, this is very important. We know that anything that we talk here, we discuss here, they crisscross, which is the way life is. And
Yes.
so it is important that we do it that way. And you can't even just decide not to do, because that's just the way it happens. And we want to treat these topics singly, like piecemeal, so that we focus attention on
Yes.
this, because this is what is really taking a toll on women, children, young girls in particular, but also on men and young boys. But these 16 days is devoted to women and young girls. So we want to do this because there are a lot of things that we can do in our own little ways to help change the story, to help
Mm-hmm.
rewrite the story of gender based violence in the world. We can do that, but it begins with us in our
Mm-hmm.
homes and in our communities. And then we start spreading the campaign and the message out. There's at least one thing you can do. It doesn't take money, but it just takes your heart, the love of
Yes.
your heart, and your service to others. And also take determination to say, I need to be part of this one global movement that is ending gender-based violence in the world. And it also takes a voice. If you cannot do anything, you have a voice. If you don't have a voice, you have a hand, a pen, and a paper. You can do something. If you don't even have that, you have your presence to sit there and nod your head and do some, or just real paying attention to what is being done, because every little thing we do counts towards eliminating or eradicating or defeating danger uh, danger uh,
Yes. Yes.
danger-based violence in the world. This is very, very important, because this is happening. If it happened to me physically,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally, morally, it happened. And I know that is happening to a lot of women and young girls in the world. So please do whatever it takes. We call upon each and everyone to be a part of One Global Movement. You don't have to attend the shows, and we're going to even cut down the shows anyway every day. And so just be a part. Say something that you see in your home or towards you or your experience towards someone in your community or in your family. Do something. It can be done, but done with peace and love in such a way that we do not aggravate the situation. So this is very, very important for us here. And we're going to keep doing this until the 10th. And fortunately and unfortunately, the topics are just so many. We're going to finish the last one, or instead of the 10th, it's going to be done on the 13th. And we're also going to bring back shadow adoption that we're supposed to do in November and bring it back here, because these are important things that help in the way we love and raise ourselves and therefore our children. So to me, true strength lies not in silence, but in action, not just words. Men and boys, let us be the allies who speak up, who stand firm, and dismantle the roots of gender-based violence. And when men and boys choose apathy, when they choose empathy over apathy, apathy means you are reacting in a negative way, or you're doing things in a negative way. But when you choose empathy over apathy, it therefore means we create a ripple respect that transforms lives and heals communities. This is for men and boys. The fathers, speak to yourself, speak to your sons. Train your son, train as you train yourself, because when you do things the right way, the boys, they look up to you, they look up to the men, they copy, and in turn they're going to do that. But we also know that there are a lot of broken men and boys around because of one thing or the other. Not to blame you guys, because society also contribute. We also contribute to some of the brokenness that we see around us in men and young boys. And we want to make sure that we start really doing the right thing, putting the right tools in place for ourselves so that our young boys will hopefully see us. I say us, including women. Otherwise, this is for men today. So a world free of gender-based violence begins with men. Like we always say, that men are the pillars behind every family. They are our safety net. When a man stands firm and say, I'm going to protect my family, I'm going to protect my boys, I'm going to protect my girls against gender-based violence, this is what we are talking about. It begins with our men teaching our boys that respect is power. Respect is power, and kindness is courage. Deviate from parties that want to experiment things on young girls, and let us behave like gentlemen and gentle young men. Engaging men is not about blame. We're not blaming you guys. We engage women too. Engaging men is not blame, but about partnership. We are seeking for your partnership. You, the men here from Unpassive and One Global Movement. We are seeking partnership. Together, we can rewrite the narrative and ensure that every woman and every child lives in dignity and respect. This is very, very important, because when our young boys and young girls live in dignity and respect, then they have time to focus and build a future that is going to serve all of us. So real leadership is raising your voices against gender-based violence, showing the next generation that love and respect are the true treasures of manhood. Not power, not putting chips on our shoulder, not showing emotions, not intervening when you see something that is not going right. There are so many ways of intervening. Do not put yourself in harm's way, but there is always a way to do things without the perpetrator knowing that you're doing something to help the situation. So we want to advise our young boys and of course young girls as well to do so. So respect and love are the true measures of manhood, not raising our voice, not oppressing people, not fighting with one another, not causing hardship for other people. That is what we're asking here. When boys learn that equality uplifts everyone, just imagine. When our boys learn that equality uplifts everyone and men embody that equality, we are paving the way for a future free from harm. We all know that. And some of our men are doing that. The men in One Global Movement here, who all of us here are descendants of Unpassive, we know that you are because you're doing this. There is no man that would dare to come here trying to stand up for children, young people, and women that doesn't possess that. I know that you are the true kind of a gentleman that our society is looking for. So I clap for all the men here, and I appreciate all the men here for standing behind us as pillars. That's why you see us 7 women can afford to be on the panel here and be talking, because we know that those men are behind, really making sure that we are safe, doing what we are doing, and making sure that our children are safe, because women thrive when they know that their children and their families are safe. So to combat gender-based violence, we need the courage of men who protect, the compassion of boys who listen and listen attentively, and the unity of all of us, the unity of our hearts that strive for justice everywhere, not just in your home, not just in your school, not just for your family, but across even the Atlantic Ocean. We can do things now without traveling to places, and we call upon our young men who are being trained by our good gentlemen to stand up and be the voices of one global movement in the world to combat or to eradicate, to rewrite the story about gender-based violence. We all can do this, and we know that our young boys can do that. Our young boys, my
Okay.
son is doing that already. And I know other young ambassadors that are already doing that. We all can come together and do that. Men and boys, let us be the builders of bridges and the defenders of dreams, ensuring no one suffers in silence under the weight of violence. Violence is not a good thing. So it really, really takes more than awareness, not just talking. It takes action. Men and boys, let's be the change that champions equality and ends gender based violence, so that the fight against gender based violence is not here alone. It's not hers alone. It's not mine alone. It's not Sister Yvonne's alone. It's ours together. Men and boys, let's be the pillars of peace and progress in every society that is fortunate to have us. So thank you guys so much for listening to that. And I wanted to go through with that so that we will listen to our mission statement from our beautiful sister here. Sister Yvonne, the stage is all yours now.
Thank you. Let me just finish welcoming this person here because,
Okay.
okay. All right. So, yes, today is Wednesday, so we read our mission statement. The quote today, it says from the Bible, it says from Proverbs 31, 8-9, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy. And that takes all of us. It doesn't say any one gender. It just says we're all supposed to do that. So the vision and mission statement of One Global Movement, which we're shortening to OGM, One Global Movement will support any organization, group, or individual that aligns with its global vision and mission, which is as follows. The mission of One Global Movement is to empower young people, children, and women worldwide with a focus on young women, providing them with tools and sustainable solutions that will help them to eradicate hunger, illiteracy, and poverty. And now we're talking about these abuses of GBV, build generational wealth while living a life of leadership on purpose. We believe that every child deserves access to nutritious food, quality education, and opportunities to thrive. And through global collaborative efforts, innovative programs, and community engagement programs, we strive to break the cycle of hunger, illiteracy, poverty, and build a future where every child can build on their hopes and dreams while reaching their full potential. Together, through divine intervention, love, and clean, safe, and valuable technology, we can create a world where no child goes to bed hungry, no child is denied an education, and no child is limited to poverty or to any other condition that is not of their own making. It is possible. Our gratitude and tribute always goes to Mr. Ashmafara for bringing this world family together for the purpose of providing solutions to all sectors of the global economy, beginning with our children. Thank you, Mr. Mafara, and all the Unpassive Building team. We love you all and wish you well.
Thank you.
That is the mission and vision and mission of One Global Movement.
Thank you so much.
And today I am the one addressing this topic to start. Engaging men and boys, a more supportive way in combating gender-based violence. Of course, that goes without saying. Unless we're going to have a dictatorship, we need collaboration. You can't do it on your own. We need everybody, all hands on deck, as the saying goes. The Bible also says, rescue the weak and the needy, deliver them from the hand of the wicked. Engaging men and boys, it's a supportive approach to combating gender-based violence. Gender-based violence, as we've already determined, is a pervasive issue affecting individuals and communities worldwide. It is not limited to any one country or nation or sector. It is often framed as a woman's issue, but this perspective overlooks a crucial fact. Mm-hmm. Most perpetrators are men. This is not something we can get away from. But that does not mean we are discounting the goodness that men can bring to this situation, as Sister just said. Therefore, lasting change requires the active participation of men and boys. When men and boys are meaningfully engaged, they become allies, advocates, and agents of change, creating a ripple effect that fosters safer and more equitable societies. And so why is it important to engage men and boys? Addressing the root causes. GBV stems from power imbalances. That is where it stems from. Harmful gender norms and societal expectations of masculinity. In one case, as I was researching, it seems as if men are just as much to suffer because they get locked into this role of being machismo or whatever that word is. They have to behave a certain way. They have to tamp down their emotions, their good sides, their soft sides, their empathetic sides, like you said. And so engaging men allows us to challenge these norms, right? And cultivate healthier, more equitable attitudes and behaviors. I was also looking at the word patriarchy, and I can't find anything positive about it, but that's not true. I believe that patriarchy had its purpose way back, especially in the days. It's all about when things tip over into imbalance, you know what I mean? Because patriarchy, to me, it meant chivalry, it meant a lot of good things because these men, the patriarchs, would put their lives on the line to protect their family and kids. How can that be all bad?
No, it's not.
It can't be all bad. So I refuse to, as I said, I was looking at it and it's just this new system we have now where everything men-based is, denigrated. I won't do it. Patriarchy, imbalance. I remember when I read about the sinking of the Titanic, and it's actually a maritime thing, I think. Ships going down and the lifeboats, if they're not enough, all the men, the women and children would to be there first. How is that not a good thing? These men are giving their lives to protect their families and their children, which is going to be their posterity, right? The children are going to live on, and they're willing to make that sacrifice. The same thing with the captain of the ship, the pilot. He was the last person to leave. How is that not something to be admired?
Yeah.
right? So I will not throw the baby with the bathwater or, all or nothing type stuff, right? But
Right.
I do admit that it's an overbalancing, or it's been abused. That's basically what I want to say. Patriarchy has been abused. Because do we want to give away with matriarchy? Men can't breastfeed,
No.
right? So
Right.
we want those two things to stand still, but they must meet in the middle and be respected. That is the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we teach our boys about these roles, we still have roles to play, right?
Right.
Engaging men allows us to challenge these norms and cultivate healthier, more equitable attitudes and behaviors. Ending GBV isn't solely a woman's issue, it's a societal one. And when men take responsibility, they help distribute the burden of advocacy by fostering collective, and let me turn my page, which is stuck,
Mm-hmm.
collective action, breaking the cycle of violence. Many boys grow up witnessing and or experiencing themselves violence, perpetuating cycles of harm.
Mm-hmm.
Positive role models are needed, and mentorship can interrupt these cycles and teach nonviolent, respectful ways of relating to others in general, everybody, relating to others nonviolently, respectfully. Building partnerships, collaborative efforts that include men amplify the impact of interventions. For example, programs where fathers are taught to value caregiving help transform perceptions of masculinity and promote equality at home.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can take care of that baby who's crying. Doesn't have to be said to the woman, don't you hear the baby crying? No, it's your baby as well.
Mm-hmm.
How engaging men and boys create a supportive approach, shifting perspective. By involving men, the narrative shifts from men as perpetrators to men as protectors and allies. This change reduces defensiveness and encourages participation. Community ownership. Engaging men in dialogue and action fosters a sense of shared responsibility for creating safe communities.
Mm-hmm.
Grassroots programs that include male allies are more likely to succeed and sustain over time. And then, when you engage men and boys, you amplify women's voices. Men who stand as allies amplify women's voices by leveraging their privilege, because men have privilege. We have to admit that. It is still a male society, it seems. So we can use that to leverage what we want to get done as women, right?
Yes.
For instance, a male CEO advocating for workplace policies against harassment can create institutional change. Somehow, whether that's correct or not correct, if you get a male to come into that boardroom or wherever you're discussing this issue, somehow it legitimizes it more. We don't care how that happens, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Key strategies for engagement: education and awareness, as you said, workshops and campaigns to educate men about GBV and its impact help dismantle misconception. We highlight the role of empathy, as you said, and shared humanity in creating safer communities, promoting positive masculinity. We're not taking away anything from anyone because we want to be females and we want our men to be men.
Yes.
Emphasize attributes like empathy, emotional expression, and respect as a complete cycle, women and men,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a
Yeah.
hallmark of strength. No one has to be less to exemplify those characteristics. Role modeling and mentorship. Engage influential male figures in advocating nonviolent and equitable behaviors. And we can find them online a lot and lot and lot. What is it? I saw a recent one being highlighted. LeBron James, I think that's his
Mm-hmm.
name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about just how good he is.
Yes.
And Denzel Washington.
Oh,
And
those are my people.
there you go. There are good men. Don't
Very
don't
good.
always lean towards the negative. Lean towards the positive. Support programs like fatherhood groups,
Mm-hmm.
sports clubs, and religious institutions to involve men in discussions about respect and equality.
Yes.
And so when men and boys are engaged, they become powerful allies in the fight against GBV. They help shift cultural norms, build safer environments, and ensure the burden of ending violence does not fall solely on women or girls.
Mm-hmm.
This approach doesn't just combat violence, it builds a culture of mutual respect, dignity, and equality for all, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Effectiveness of male engagement programs that involve men and boys, as I said before, in addressing gender norms and violences. This is a statistic. Promoting nonviolence has shown a 29% effectiveness when we collaborate in transforming attitudes and behaviors, right? These programs are particularly impactful when integrated into community outreach and educational campaigns that address systemic gender inequalities. As I told you a long time ago, I saw this video and I cannot find it again, but this was a girl, she had gone abroad, England, I believe, UK, and she then decided that she was going to go back to her village to help make sure that her little niece did not get into the trap of early marriage. But she did not go with a head-on thing. She didn't attack anybody. She took her father, her grandfather, she took them aside one by one, and she just had a good talk with them, right? And she got some of the nephews, the males, to agree with her. And then the grandfather finally he said to her, okay, this will not happen to your little niece. And this is how it's done sometimes, one by one by one. Yes, it's nice to have activism, and I believe that we need that as well. But sometimes it's just changing one person's attitude, one person's mind. So, sister, I'll leave it there. You can continue, right?
I'm really so happy the way you took this on, because you drove it home. Like, it begins with the home, with the body, not even looking out there to try to say, what kind of campaign can I do, or which organization or government
Yes.
institution that I can reach. Most often when we do that, we come to find out, as we all know, that there is a lot of bureaucracy, there is a lot of power control and all of those
Yes.
things. But we are talking this thing from the point of view, from something that comes from your heart, something that if it were to happen to you or to your own daughter, what do? Would you be happy? And I know that some of us here, we're still practicing that, because we come from such orientation. That is not
Yes.
to blame anyone, but we
No.
want to know, we want to do better now. Now that we are knowing better, now that we can even do better now because of this high technology, we want to be able to do better. Because when
Yeah.
we are talking about education, educating themselves, men should educate themselves. This is with the understanding that the dynamics and the root causes of GBV, including power imbalances, as you said, and
Yes.
toxic masculinity. We
Yes.
know that there is toxic masculinity. We know that. We see it. I have experienced that, unfortunately, my own dad, who is
Yes.
my father. And then we
Yes.
can learn about consent. Consent. If somebody says no, listen
It's
to that.
no. It's no. It's
And
no.
if they say yes, listen to that. And if they say no, and it's something that you really want, find out why, and find out from your own self first. Is this the right thing for me to even do
Mm-hmm.
in the first
Mm-hmm.
place? You have to be able to ask yourself those questions before you
Yeah.
go into anything. Don't just try to be so self-centered and to satisfy your own selfish desires. That's
Right.
not what is.
Right.
A lot of these young girls are going through that. So we have to learn about consent,
Mm-hmm.
equality, like you said, equality and the rights of women and young girls and marginalized groups in the world, in our community. We have them
Yes.
in the family. That's why I always say family. And then we, the men, not, well, like we, the men, women too,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yes, sister. Yes.
we model respectful behavior, because
To
a
everyone.
lot of our men, I don't blame them, in part of my culture, you see men say, I'm the man here, I have
Yes.
to. Yes, you're
Exactly.
the man here, but you're saying it in a very disrespectful way. Of course, you are the man. You don't need to remind any woman, because you are the man, because you were
Yes.
created as the man. When you
Yes.
take from creation, the beginning of creation, what did God do? God created the man first, didn't he?
Yes.
And
He
he
did.
did that for a purpose, not for for them to take that right as something to abuse
Mhm.
it. So they
No.
created a man, but God realized that the man cannot be alone, and God
Exactly.
created the woman from the man, placed that woman beside the man for them to walk equally and to pick up each other when the other person tries to fall. And of course, like
Exactly.
you said, there are certain things that women cannot do. Like if you're going to engage me in a physical fight, no. I will run for my dear life because I don't know how to hit somebody. I don't, you know,
Yes,
and I
yes.
don't like to be hit, you know. But
There you
you
go.
know, God created us, like you said, with the various rules that are good
Yes,
for how He created. He knows why. And we shouldn't
yes.
try to change those rules because the moment we try to change them, either we are abusing some people or we are abusing our own self, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the woman breastfeeds, right?
Yes.
That is the woman's role. But to
Yes.
take care of the baby, it requires the woman and the man.
And the
But
man,
certain
yes.
things about the baby, the man will not do it so well, but the woman will now be in there. That is
Mm-hmm.
why the man is the leader of the home, whether we like it or not. I know
This is,
that people don't like it when you say that. Some people don't like it, but it
mm-hmm.
is true. I remember when we were growing up, we always play with my mom. My mom would say, you guys go do this. We'll say, okay, mama, we'll do it. We'll play. Say, okay, you guys wait until your daddy comes. Okay. And then we'll still be playing. The moment we hear our dad, because our dad has a sound to alert
Yeah.
us that he's almost there. When we hear that sound, brrr, ooh, everybody takes shape very quick. And is he even going to talk? No, he will just give you the looks. And those are the looks of authority, the looks
Yes.
of a leader. You know,
Yes.
you talk
Yes.
about the patriarchy as a good word. It is a good word because patriarchy, you know, is like a leader of a family, a leader of a group. But it depends, like you said, on the content in which you're using it. You know, the
Yes.
leader of a tribe, like in my village, those patriarchs are there. They are very good. They are
Yes.
very good. They are making sure that every family is rich. And they do this through beating of the drum, different sounds. They will just know, you
Yeah.
know. And so
Mm-hmm.
even we also have them in the Christian world. We have
Yes.
those kinds of rules. So the man is the leader. So let us men, please, let us speak out. We alone will be talking and talking and not getting a lot done. We want the man to intervene and say, no, this girl needs to be treated as such. This
Yes.
woman needs to be treated with respect. You don't
Exactly.
fighting with anybody, but you look
Exactly.
for resources so that we can
Mm-hmm.
do it. Because when we are talking about education, it's educating men, educating other men to stand up. And also when you're doing that education, you're also educating yourself, because sometimes
Yes.
we forget and we still go and take those rules of imposing or trying to dictate or trying to control a woman what you should do and what you should not do. Sometimes we fall into those rules, and that is why you see a lot of women are taking the rules of men, because some of the men are lacking behind. I
Yeah.
remember my mom doing a lot that she was not even supposed to do, but she
Right.
did it
Right.
because, you know,
Yes.
so a lot of those things. So let us speak out and then promote gender equality, advocating for policy. But those policies is with us first. We're not looking at the policies that are written by the government. What is your family policy? What is your family value
Yes.
towards
Yes.
women and young girls? Is what we are talking here. Because if it doesn't start
Yes.
from the home, forget about it. You can go out there, you can get it from out there. When you come home, it's still going to be the same thing. So it
Absolutely.
from the
Yeah.
home. And then mentorship program, like Mr. Barilla, you are here. You can have a mentorship program. We
Yes.
have Mr. Manoj Jain. We have Sir Yusuf Adu. We have Sir Ojala. We have a lot of these men that Mr.
Yes.
Ashton brought together, that we can be good mentors. And remember, you're not just mentoring somebody because you are so clean and you're pure. You're
No, it's not.
mentoring and also mentoring yourself to
You
keep
learn at the same time. Yes.
yourself up,
Absolutely.
to keep those values so that we can pass them on onto other generation. And I had to begin to look for campaign, but this campaign starts with us, like here in One Global Movement. We're not
Yes.
going to
It
take a
does.
campaign out there. What is our own campaign that we want to
What
find
are
out?
we doing?
What are we
Charity
doing?
begins at home. Yes, it
Very good.
does. Yes.
And I have some of those campaigns that I'm going to be sending your way, Sister Yvonne, because you are a professional in proofreading and editing. So we can begin to put our own things that we want to do naturally that comes from our own programs that we are writing here. We have
Okay.
one that I research, uh, Here for Her program. United Nations Women Here for Her program. This global solidarity movement invites men and boys to stand as allies, come together, you know,
There you
for
go.
gender equality. We also have the Man Box. The Man Box,
Box.
which is Promodo and the representation projects. That is
Yes.
another one. This campaign addresses harmful stereotypes of masculinity. Like they say,
Yes.
oh, you are a man. You shouldn't be crying like a woman. Don't listen to that, please.
Well,
Emotional.
that's just what I was sorry, sister. That's what I was trying to say here. That sometimes men are so made to be out of touch with their own humanity, their own feelings, because they're locked into these ridiculous roles. A man shouldn't do this. A man shouldn't do that. A man shouldn't. And then he gets attacked from his peers, from his male
Yes.
peers, because then the whole system that they think is right is threatened. But a man should be a human being. That's what
Mhm.
he is.
Yes.
And all those good things that make us human beings, whether male or female, that is what we're supposed to exhibit.
Yes,
That's
so
it.
true, so true. And
Yeah,
we as women must allow our men to be human beings. We're trying
absolutely.
to also work together with these men because a lot of men are still in the mindset that I'm supposed to be this way because that's the way my father raised me to be like this. And some of the mothers also say that because that is the culture. And it's
Yeah,
not, it's a very harmful culture because a lot of
yes.
time when we don't allow men to express themselves or to show their feelings, their emotions. They just bottle everything and it's a time bomb. And when it explodes in a very bad way that is not
Yes.
good for the family or it's not.
Very inappropriate. Yes.
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 So we want to make sure we do that. And then Me Too movement. We've heard about the Me Too movement, some of us, which is founded by Taranka Burke. Though initially aimed at empowering survivors, Me Too has evolved into a call for systemic change. Systemic change. We can build our own system here in one global movement that will keep working on until the end of times, and then we can just adjust it as time goes on. Because tomorrow we know that we're going to depart, and others will take this and continue. So, Me
Yeah.
Too movement is a many initiative within the movement focus on educating men about consent. Consent is a very powerful word. Sister, I think you should formulate a topic for us under consent. We'll talk about
Mhm.
it. And consent, not just in this aspect of gender based violence, consent in everything.
Yes.
Sometimes you want something from somebody. This when they say no, no today doesn't mean that it's no tomorrow. They might say no because they might not be feeling well, or they're not just in that mindset of,
Yeah.
of trying to help, and you might take it differently. So let
Mm.
us try to understand, because when you put yourself in the shoe of another person, you will try to understand this thing. We have the White Ribbon campaign, White
Yes.
Ribbon, originating in Canada. Canada, whoo, thank you.
Yes.
One of the largest movement engaging men and boys in preventing violence against women. And
Yes.
she knows more about that. It promotes conversations about healthy relationships,
Yes, it does.
accountability, and rejecting toxic masculinity. And
Toxic. That's the key point.
there,
Toxic masculinity.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So that is a wonderful thing. And accountability is so important. You
Mm-hmm.
doing that, are you able to account for your words, your action, or you just doing it? So this is what this campaign is all about too. So Men Engage Alliance, that's another one that I found
Yes.
out. This global
Yes.
network focuses on involving men and boys in promoting gender equality.
Mm-hmm.
Gender equality. The
Yes.
scripture says, fathers, don't provoke your boys
Yes.
to anger. Don't provoke them to anger. Sit down with them and discuss with them. Because
Exactly.
we want our boys, our young boys, even our girls, our children in general, our women to be a part of the decision making of the family. Because when you're making a decision, you don't just make it and impose it on people. You have to take into account the thoughts and contributions of every family member. And that is why it's always a good thing to sit down and have a meeting with your family, with your children, at least once a week, but every day, but special ones, like special holidays, once
Yes.
a week. And why not at the end of the year, maybe 4 times a year? And this is such a beautiful thing. That's not manly. That's not manly. No, the hashtag, that's not manly. This is in Australia. You know,
Wow.
this
Yes.
campaign challenges traditional notions of masculinity as well by
Because
spotting.
that country has a lot of machismo, right? There are
Oh my
a lot of
God.
that must be a tough sell. I would love to hear how that one is doing because
I know. I
they're very
know.
macho, very macho.
Just like also in India, like our ambassador Pavni Verma said, "Oh, I can't believe that somebody really loves me because the society that I live in."
Yes, yes, yes,
So we have that. We have that a lot. It's just like this one is out of the men. When I was in Cameroon, I grew up with an uncle that observed these things, wanting the best for all of us, but also let us
hmm
know that my wealth is not your wealth. You need to build your own
Make
wealth
your own.
using the
Yes,
tools that I teach you and the ones that you learn in school. But
yes.
here, when it's Mother's Day, I'm so happy. I know I buy a card, I will write and I would mail it to my mom. My mom is like, why are you wasting this money instead of giving me this money to buy some fish or meat to cook for the family? I
Really,
thought,
they have no sentimentality, do they?
and that crushed me until I'm like, oh my God, mom. But I still buy it anyway. So this hashtag, that's not Monday. And then the
Manly,
other one
that's
is
not
a
manly.
call to men. This is a phone call to men. A call from the heart. This US-based organization educates men about man box, a set of societal expectations for men
Uh,
that perpetuate violence and inequality. So their campaigns advocate for healthy, respectful manhood to help end violence against women and young girls. Walk a mile in her shoes. That's a good one.
yes,
Walk a
nice.
mile in her shoes. This playful but impactful campaign invites men to walk in high heels, okay? Walk in high heels to symbolize empathy for the experiences of women who endure violence.
Ah.
Have you ever walked in high heels? Go try it. If they are not meant for you, men, that's what they're talking about. Go try it. And then we have hashtag consent everything. Consent for everything.
Yes,
We also
yes.
have 1 billion rising. A lot of campaign. This one says, while it's a broader movement to end violence against women, specific campaigns within OBR, 1 billion rising against women, specific campaigns encourage men to rise as allies, come together like you're doing here. I see in the chat here, you see how, although you're welcoming plus the women, that is the spirit. You see the men saying this. Sometimes the managing director says, oh, Brother Levite, go do this. Can you help do this, please? This is what we are talking about. In those
Yes.
subtle things or those little things that we think that they are so little, we hop in because from those little things, it leads to bigger things. Before you know, it leads to violation of women and young girls. So this is
Mhm.
what we're talking about. So all of these campaigns, plus what Sister Yvonne has said today, emphasizes collaboration, coming
Yes.
together,
Mhm.
education, and rethinking societal and family norms. We rethink them, we adjust them. We know that not everything is written in stone and not everything is correct. Things are always changing. Let us be
Yes.
flexible and rethink all of these norms. How do they affect women and young girls? How do they affect children
Yeah.
and all of us in general, including our powerful men who are here today supporting us? So thank you
Amen.
so much. If you have
Mm.
anything, sister, you can go ahead because it's your day.
Well,
Otherwise, we will
I,
appreciate more.
yeah, I just wanted to add that because society has changed, right? Because in back in the day, as younger people like to say, it was the family, the man, the woman, blah blah blah. We had that, especially in certain communities. But
Mhm.
now that is not always the case. War, countries torn, women, families are torn apart. So women now have had to step up and be both roles. And so some men resent that. But it's not a choice that these women made sometimes. It's a consequence of what has happened. So we do have to rethink how the roles were before, not abolishing any of them, but rethink them as to how we can accommodate them. And as I'm always saying, it's collaboration. I'm a big fan of that and balance, right?
Mhm.
Accommodating one another. Because if we think of the greater role, we're doing it for our children, both sexes, both genders. right? So we want them to experience the world in a more holistic way, progressive way, especially with the technology, as you say. There's so much waiting for them to do. They shouldn't be hindered and hampered by these rigid, moribund roles that don't do anything anymore.
Yeah.
There are, people talk about single family homes, and we have all kinds of stuff. So don't let those things hold us back from the good that we can experience and do in the world. All of us, both
Yep.
genders, right?
That's so beautiful. One
Yeah.
can never exist without the other.
No, we cannot. It's not
That's
going to
not the
happen.
order of the Lord. We were not
That's
meant to be that way. So the
it's not going
earlier
to
we
happen.
realize this, the better. And across
Absolutely.
the board, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
We know that we have bad times, but when those bad times are over, let's get back to that good behavior and do
Exactly.
what is good
Yes.
for our children. We want to make sure that by the time that God calls us home, we have
Yeah.
emptied out ourselves the best way into our children, into our families. This is so
Yeah.
important. So thank you guys. So thank you so much for treating that theme today so well. I'm really
Thank
grateful.
you. Yeah.
And of course, our managing director is always here to really boost and inspire everyone here. Thank you so much, John, for the work that you're doing for women and children and young people and families in the world. We appreciate you. Engaging men and boys to combat gender-based violence is a very good idea. We must include them in everything. One global movement is doing. Yes, thank you so much. And you guys are there already. You are the mantles. You and your entourage of men are the mantles
Yes.
of the
Yes.
pillars behind all of us here. So thank you so much. And so far, pretty lonely here. No early birds waiting. I think, yeah, something went wrong, John. And I'm sorry again. I apologize for everyone because we checked on from our end. Sometimes this technology can act in a funny way. I think that's what
Yeah.
happened and gave us a
Yeah.
wrong.
Absolutely.
All right. Hashtag JJB Tin Man, hashtag Big Heart, hashtag Unpassive, hashtag Ashmufare, hashtag Unpacilicious, hashtag Resident Baritone, hashtag One Global Movement, hashtag Global World Changes, hashtag We Are So in It. I put my own there. We are so in it to win it, John. Thank you. All right. And let's go down here. We have Sir Damandra Raval. I really want to congratulate all the men and the young boys that came here today and those that are going to be watching this on YouTube. Please let us comment. Let us give suggestions, ideas, because we need to get involved in this all together and let it go. No father, no mother want to ever see any of their sons or daughters being violated any longer. We are sick and tired of all of that. We don't want to see that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to treat them, not just them, plus the perpetrator. We have to also help them. Otherwise, they will still go back to the same point.
Absolutely. Yes.
And hello, Sister Diane. How are you? We miss you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate you, sister, and we love you. Happy holidays to you and your family. And
Mhm.
well, this is not good. The time was posted at
John. John.
I'm sorry, John.
We,
We
we
couldn't
know,
see
John.
anything.
Sorry.
The social media person could not fix it, so something had to be wrong somewhere, John. We're sorry about that. Hello, SK Jafar Alisaka, how are you? Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here, and thank you for being one of those men that are behind women and children all over the world. Thank you so much. All right, and let's go down here. We have Sir Manoj Jain. How are you? Thank you so much, sir, for being one of the pillars here today, especially for this important topic that concerns our men and our boys. We have Sir Yusuf Adu. How are you, sir? Thank you so much for being here with us again today and contributing to this. And it will be nice to go back in YouTube and watch it for everyone. Even me, I'm going to do it because when we go through things over and over, we continue to discover things that can be done so that we can help all of us and especially this population worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go here. Please like, follow, and share One Global Movement Facebook page. This is the Facebook page. Every time that you go there, please press that like button just like you're doing in YouTube all the time. And what you're doing is, without knowing, as something as simple as that, is you are investing in children and young people and women worldwide so that we can continue to get the resources that we need, even if it is a pinch, a drop. We need all those resources for this population worldwide. So thank you so much for going there to do that. And hello, Gutam, how are you? Thank you for joining us from that end. And I'm really happy that a lot of the men are also here today, even though there was a glitch in the time, but you guys still made it. So thank you so much for being among us here today. Hello, Cecile Wire. How are you? Thank you so much, sir, for being a part of One Global Movement and supporting children, young girls, and women worldwide, especially gender-based violence against this population. We appreciate you. And let's go down here.
The next one should be Ujalala.
Ojalala, there you go. Hello, Ojala. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate you. Today, we are so happy because I really wanted the men to come, especially the pillars of One Global Movement here, the men. And you guys, most of you are here today. And we're going to continue to urge the others to go online and really take time to watch this. Thank you so much, sir. And we have Kanye Yadav. Hello, Kanye. How are you? If you're new, you're welcome into this global family. We thank you so much for being a part of One Global Movement. We are standing up for women, young girls, and young people, boys, all families. But today, particularly, we are inspiring the men and young boys to speak up and stand against gender-based violence. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Come again. And if you can, bring one or two people with you. And let's go here. We have Sir, am I right? Sir
Yes, yes.
A.P. Madhusadan. And thank you so much, sir. We really love you being here because you're one of that pillar and the kind of experience that we need here for our children. So thank you so much for being a part of us here today. And he says, what is this? Hashtag that's not manly. Yes. Thank you for putting this. That's not manly. Hashtag consent everything. Yes.
Yeah.
See, don't say you are my child. I give birth to you. You have to listen. No, no. So we have to do that. All right. Greetings to you, Yvonne Finn, Dr. Mundih, and all friends here. We are all together making changes to the evils in society, including different types of discriminations. Yes.
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 And that alone is discrimination in itself. So thank you so much, sir. And let's go here. Sir AP says, some societies are especially religious compulsion to even wearing of their choice of clothing. Yes, we must think progressive ways. Yes.
Yes.
So long as it doesn't hurt anybody, that's what we are for. Yes.
Exactly.
We respect that as well. And hello, Clover Kelly. How have you been? Thank you so much for joining us here today. We miss you, but you're here today. And she says, good afternoon to us here on the stage. And
Yes.
One Global Movement, wonderful encouragement to all in uplifting our children in the world. Greetings to everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Serapi says, in India, we are progressing in many fields, but some customs and systems which are still orthodox. I think such things are everywhere with different faces and masks.
Yes.
They are, sir. Exactly so. It does not matter which society. It only goes in different forms and shapes and sizes. They are there. Whether it is developed or underdeveloped countries, they are there. And sometimes in societies that the laws are there, they take form in higher ways that if you don't know, and these children will be suffering just like that. And so, yes, it is everywhere, and it's our responsibility to help our children and women. Hello, sir. Ashok, thank you so much for joining us from your end. We highly appreciate you, sir, for being one of the strong men supporting our children and women and making sure that we are safe. Because if I'm threatened, I'm running to the man. Because I know that protect me physically, I'm running to where the man is. Okay. And my brothers, growing up, my brothers were really that safety net for me. They would
Yes.
protect me, they would walk with me, they hold my hand, and they are younger than me. I'm the older one,
Yes.
the oldest one,
Yes.
They hold my hand, they will not let any man just talk to me anyhow.
Yes. Yes. I know.
So you see the big roles that men play in our family. We appreciate you for that, and we always look forward to that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hashtag OGM, hashtag on passive, always as usual. You are so
Yes.
consistent in that aspect.
That's very nice. Thank you, Sir
We
AP.
have Sir Jivan Turkey. How are you? He says, good evening to everyone on Passive Family. Thank you
Good
so much.
evening to you.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here, and especially on this special day with this a special theme. So thank you so much, and I urge everyone to go back and watch again and again, and encourage other men and young people, encourage every child, encourage all families, because these things are supposed to be done together as a family with everybody included, regardless of the condition. Everybody needs to be included here,
Right.
because it has gender-based violence has overstayed its visit. It's
Yes,
really
it
taking
has.
a toll on our children and our women and families. It has
Mhm.
overstayed. We need to do something different, and One Global Movement is here to do that. So thank you guys so much, and thanks to everyone. Thank you. Happy holidays to those who are celebrating the Christmas. Happy holidays. Otherwise, happy holidays, because we are looking forward to a better 2025 that is already at the corner. I hope we all are writing down the goals, our dreams. We are all giving accountability of how this past year went on, and how we are going to take off and continue to build on our hopes and dreams. Certainly, One Global Movement is going to be coming out on the 19th. We're going to celebrate the holidays here with some of the One Global Movement children ambassadors. If they can
Mm.
make it, they will be here to take different roles and speak to us. And we respect that those who can record, if they have the chance to have the internet, they can record and then send it to us. Otherwise, we will continue in different ways, whether online, offline, in the background, wherever. Everything counts here in One Global Movement. So
Yes.
thank you so much, sister. I will give you the stage to give your closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Well, as you just mentioned, you said that um, it's overstayed its visit, gender-based violence. And I just want to reiterate that that is absolutely true because, as I said, we have so much more to look forward to and enjoy. Let's not be hampered down by artificial constructs that do not serve either one of our genders. It doesn't serve the human race. It does not.
Mhm.
Right? You know, as Malala says, you can't go forward when half of you are kept behind.
Mhm.
And that is an artificial thing that we've created. There's no reason for it because even though we're joking and saying that, we like men as our protectors, and that's true, we do, but women have roles that they play that men cannot play.
That's right. And you said
So
that.
let's just respect each other's role and work together because we're all in this together. This is our home. I know that we've been to the moon and wherever, but this is where we live for now. Let's make it the best place that it can be by working together. And it starts in the home with our young children.
Yes.
We're equal. We're equally responsible. Let's get that in our heads. Playing different roles, maybe, but equally responsible for making this a fabulous place for the next generation. That's my contribution. Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much for that wonderful conclusion. I appreciate you and thank you so much. And I thank you, everyone. Until tomorrow, happy holidays. Remember, if you see any difference in time, it is a mistake or a glitch from
It's
the internet or the computer. Please, we maintain the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Daytime,
Eastern Standard
until
Time.
further notice. Okay?
Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, right?
Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
I
Eastern
think you said daytime. It's not. It's
or
Eastern
Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for catching that mistake. Thank you. That's why we are together. Yes, yes. It's still 1 p.m. If you see any mistake, it's a mistake. Just come. So
Yes,
thank you
yes.
so much. And we love you all. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming.
Yes.